Good evening. On behalf of Jackson Paul Pharmaceuticals, I am Amit Saxena along with my teammate Dr. Deepika Chhabra. We welcome you to the next in the series, Post-COVID Pulmonary Problems, organized by Fortis Escorts in association with respected elders from neighborhood RWAs, Imoha Elder Care and Age Care India, with renowned doctor speaker Dr. Avi Kumar and moderator Dr. G.S. Grewal. Welcome to all attendees. Please note this webinar is streaming live on Facebook and the recording will remain on Jackson Pearl YouTube channel for reference and promotion. Now I request Dr. G.S. Grewal to kindly initiate the session.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you very much, Amit and Deepika. And now I welcome Dr. Avi Kumar to this session, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the valuable invitation for speaking on the post-COVID breathlessness. So, जैसे कि we have seen that COVID-19 has taken a toll on our lives. We have learned the newer things in the form of isolations, quarantine, and RT-PCRs, and many things we have learned in the last 2 years. So in this session, we would be dealing more about post-COVID pulmonary problems that we have encountered in our post-COVID clinic, where we have seen that patients who are coming to us, they generally come with complaints of fatigue, breathlessness, cough, and many other problems in the form of some presented with complaints of clot formation, or some presented with hair loss, or some presented with anxiety or brain fogging. So I will be dealing more of the pulmonary part. So to start with COVID, what we have seen that work from home and isolation and quarantine in 2020, when the first case of COVID was reported from China, we never have thought that this pandemic, this virus is so deadly that it will cause our lives to be affected so much, both in the form of morbidity and mortality. So it started from China, then went to the whole world, spread like a fire. Yes, this was an earlier publication which was published in Guardian Weekly in 2021 in March, where we have seen that a new isolation, social distancing, masking, hand washing came into the effect, and we came to know about this virus. This was the whole pathogenesis, which was earlier. It was always from where this virus arose. Right now also, some blame to China or some leakage from the laboratory labs. We don't know, but the pathogenesis starts from either bats or many things arose. And right now we have surpassed the second wave, and now looking forward for the third wave to may happen in any time in September. So next. So acute phase we have passed. So we are now dealing with the post-COVID symptoms. So the most common post-COVID symptoms that we have encountered in our OPD is fatigue. And fatigue is of utmost importance because many patients, they complain कि भाई हमारी energy levels उतने नहीं आ रहे जितने energy levels pre-COVID level पे थे. चाहे उनको 4 महीना हो गया, चाहे 5 महीना हो गया, but they still feel that हमारे energy levels are still down. They are not up to the mark that was pre-COVID. So next thing that they complained with us is breathlessness. Breathlessness either with small exertion, or when they walk, they feel breathless, or they climb up the stairs, they feel breathless. So breathlessness has been of different grades according to the patient's symptoms, whether he was having severe COVID symptoms or whether he had mild symptoms. Then the next common symptoms that we encountered is cough. Cough, generally they present with complaints of dry cough. Dry cough, it is quite common in our patients. So next, the third thing, that those patients who have had severe COVID pneumonias, they had been recommended domiciliary oxygen treatment, and some patients, they are very difficult to be weaned off from that oxygen. Some patients have been constantly being requiring oxygenations at 1 to 2 liters, or some patients are requiring oxygenations during the night time. Then many patients do complain of sleep disturbance, that they are not able to sleep at night, or they had some stress disorders, that is in the form of post-traumatic stress disorders, because many of the families have lost their many of the members, and some things always revolve in the brain, and this can also can be a source for post-traumatic stress disorder. Plus, many patients do complain of headaches, and these headaches are generally of stress headache, which was most common headache which we encountered in our OPDs. Being a cardiac hospital, we have seen many patients, they generally came with palpitations either in the form of tachycardia or in the form of lower heart rate in the form of bradycardias, and chest pain. So these are the main symptoms that we encountered in our patients in our COVID, post-COVID OPDs. So what is acute post-COVID-19 symptoms has been defined as the symptoms which extend beyond 3 weeks from the onset of the symptoms, and chronic post-COVID-19 symptoms are symptoms that extend beyond 12 weeks. So beyond 12 weeks of the first symptoms, they are chronic post-COVID-19 symptoms, and acute post-COVID-19 symptoms beyond 3 weeks from the first onset of the symptoms. Usually 10% of the patients who have been tested positive for SARS-2 remain unwell beyond 3 weeks, but a smaller proportion may have symptoms for months. So what we have encountered in 2 waves, that we have seen that in the first wave, most of the patients, they generally recovered within 3 months. But in the second wave, which was more severe, more fast, had more mortality, the patients are taking much more time to recover. So who are the high-risk groups? Who are the high-risk groups which may encounter these symptoms? So following subgroups, they are generally at higher risk for developing post-COVID-19 complications. The first is the elderly patients. Generally, they are greater than 60 years of years. Second is those patients who have comorbidities in the form of diabetes mellitus, hypertension, coronary artery disease, and the patients who are requiring oxygen on discharge from COVID-19 management, and those patients who required non-invasive ventilations or mechanical ventilations during COVID-19 management, or those who had pre-existing chronic respiratory diseases. So these are the higher risk group patients who who had more persistent symptoms and had chronic post-COVID-19 symptoms. So coming on to the pulmonary symptoms, dyspnea, that is breathlessness, decreased exercise capacity, and hypoxemia, commonly persistent symptoms in those patients who had severe COVID-19 disease. They generally come with reduced diffusion capacity, restrictive pulmonary physiology, and ground glass opacities and fibrotic changes on imaging. Generally, we have noted in patients who have been on follow-up after 3 months of the CT chest. The assessment of progression or recovery of pulmonary disease and functions may include home pulse oximetry. So this home pulse oximetry has been very useful in our second wave, where many of our patients have learned how to use this pulse oximeter. Many patients have learned that if the saturation falls below 94, this is the red alarm, and those are old respiratory patients. They always knew that the saturations below 90% is harmful. So I think this is a new normal in our own society, that I think each and every house in our locality is having one pulse oximeter at home. Then the 6-minute walk test we generally recommend in those patients who have been requiring oxygenations, or who desaturates on exertion, or who feels too much breathless. We want to inquire how much is the desaturation with exertion. We tell the patients to walk for 6 minutes at a brisk pace, and note down their saturations, how much distance they can cover, and it is a valuable test that can be done even at home by allowing the patient to walk for 6 minutes and see the saturations. If there is an unmasked hypoxemia that cannot be seen when the patient is at rest, we can unearth that unmasked hypoxemia with 6-minute walk test. Then the PFTs and high resolution CT scans. Generally, we get it done when the patients do complain of too much of breathlessness or too much of hacking cough, and we can see the response to the bronchodilators if the patient is responsive to the bronchodilators or the inhaled steroids that we can give to the patient so that their breathlessness can be relieved of. Like CT chest generally is being done to see what is the status of fibrosis or what is the level of infiltrates that have been persisting after 3 months, what is the recovery, and to rule out any infection, because we have encountered too much of fungal infections in our patients, in the post-COVID patients. Pulmonary angiogram, generally it is reserved for patients who generally suddenly complained of chest pain or sudden start of breathlessness or sudden desaturation. We always prescribe pulmonary angiogram to rule out clots, because it is one of the notorious things that we have encountered in post-COVID patients, and it can be quite lethal and has a very high mortality. Next slide. So the first symptom, that is the cough, the potential mechanisms in post-viral respiratory infection includes the inflammation, epithelial damage, mucus infections, neuromodulatory changes. Chronic cough persists as one that persists beyond 3 weeks, beyond 4 weeks, and the signs of superinfection should always be ruled out. Other complications like painful pleural inflammations, generally these things generally are managed by simple breathing control exercises like the diaphragmatic exercises. Diaphragmatic exercises, generally we tell the patients to put both the palms on the diaphragm and breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth with a whistle. So these are generally diaphragmatic breathing and slow breathings, pursed lip breathing. Generally we tell most of our COPD patients to have pursed lip breathing. It generates a peep, decreases the sense of breathlessness, and is quite helpful in releasing the respiratory symptoms. Then comes the yoga techniques. These are all the relaxation techniques. When the mind is at relax, these things would do settle down. So the most common thing that we see in post-COVID patient is the stress. High level of stress is giving rise to too many of symptoms. Either you take it respiratory symptoms, either you take it hair loss, anything, or you take it headache. So most of the symptoms are stress related. Yes, we have to keep it down. We have to keep our temperament cool, and slowly the things will pass on. Next slide. So the cough, it is a charge. If we have to take the history as well as clinical examination, if the chest has wheezing, we generally prescribe inhaled bronchodilators and inhaled steroids. If there is no rhonchi, generally give cough suppressants or pulmonary rehabilitation, breathing exercises, yoga, and steam inhalations do take utmost role in those patients who have been having dry cough. Next slide. So coming on to the breathlessness, the primary driver for breathlessness in the viral lung infections is generally interstitial pneumonia with a reduction in the lung diffusion capacity. The severe breathlessness, which is seen rarely in patients who were not hospitalized, may require urgent referral. So some patients, they have mild infection, their COVID infections, had been on home isolation, and suddenly they develop severe breathless. So these breathlessness, generally we get it encountered by doing an ECG, echo, chest X-ray, and if required, a CT pulmonary angiogram too. So the breathlessness tends to improve with breathing exercises, which includes positioning and pursed lip breathing and coordinating breathing training. Pulse oximeters, as I've already told, that may be useful for assessing and monitoring of the respiratory symptoms after COVID-19. And patients should be provided with pulse oximeters on an observation diary with instructions on how to self-monitor. So this second COVID wave has taught us how to self-monitor our oxygenations by having repeated pulse oxygenations checkup at home or heart rate checkup at home through pulse oximeter. So the target,
Dr. Ravi, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
Now, this breathlessness that you just mentioned and the cough, is it possible that a person who's never had cough in his life If after COVID he develops all these problems,
Yes, yes, sure, sir.
that is
Because-
important.
Yeah, because generally this COVID virus is a viral infection, and post-viral cough and breathlessness are a known entity. And most of the patients that we have encountered, they have been a very healthy lifestyle and caught COVID-19, and still they are battling this post-COVID-19 symptoms.
Please carry on.
So the target saturation generally in COVID-19 was generally 94. We told all our patients that if it started below saturation falling below 94, that is a red alert, and you have to immediately inform us. And if it falls below 90, that is a quite worrisome situation and must require oxygenations. So oximeter reading persistently 94 to 95 range in COVID-19 patients is quite a good thing. But if it falls below 94, yes, it's a red alert and should be started on steroids as well as other therapies, and to be monitored by other parameters in the form of clinical parameters as well as the laboratory parameters. So appropriate adjustment should be made for patients with lung disease and known hypoxemia, because COPD patients, we generally do not want to give too much of oxygen, because too much of oxygen can hamper the hypoxic drive. So we generally keep the range in them in 82 to 92%, which is considered as acceptable. Next slide.
I think ये मैसेज प्लीज ध्यान से सुनिए, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे हैं कि मुझे खांसी आ रही है, मुझे थोड़ा सांस फूलता है, ऑक्सीजन लेनी शुरू कर देते हैं. प्लीज अपने आप ऑक्सीजन मत लीजिए. डॉक्टर अभी कुमार ने वार्निंग दी है कि अगर आपको पुरानी खांसी रह रही है एंड यू कंटिन्यू टेकिंग ऑक्सीजन, इट विल उल्टा आपके जो बॉडी को ड्राइव मिल रही है सांस लेने की, वो कम हो जाएगी. So self-medication in any form is always dangerous, but today he is re-emphasizing कि ऑक्सीजन लेना भी आपको नुकसान दे सकता है. लोग कहेंगे जी ऑक्सीजन में क्या, ये तो हवा है. Sorry, this can also hamper in particular group of people जिनको COPD की बीमारी है. So please listen carefully. Don't try and think कि ऑक्सीजन लेना is as good as सांस लेना. Please.
So the breathlessness we generally deal with, the patients should have a history or a clinical examinations, including pulse oximetry. If on examinations the patient has bronchi, generally we tell the patients to get a PFT done, see the obstruction, what is the level of obstruction, whether it is a mild, moderate or severe, and start with inhaled bronchodilators, whereas followed by inhaled steroids. If there are no bronchi, then pulmonary rehabilitations, breathing exercise, yoga, and steam inhalations to play an important role in treatment of breathlessness. Next slide. So fatigue, the generally prolonged nature of fatigue in some of the post-acute COVID-19 patients share features. Generally, they are similar to the chronic fatigue syndrome. Management and guidance for the clinicians is limited. Generally, we tell the most of the patients to have a graded pulmonary rehabilitations. We do not want them to go too aggressive. We do not want to tell them to be too passive. We tell them, advise them to have a graded pulmonary rehabilitations. So the step by step they increase their workouts, and after 3 months, generally we tell them yes, they can start having their normal routine life and normal exercises. So this fatigue with time will go away. So this hematologic thromboembolic events have been noted in less than 5% of post-acute COVID-19 patients in retrospective studies, and the duration of hyperinflammatory states induced with, either induced by infections with COVID-19 is unknown. Generally, we advise most of our patients, those who have been requiring oxygenations, to be on anticoagulants or low molecular weight heparin or ecosprints for thromboprophylaxis after the risk-benefit discussion in patients with predisposing risk factors for immobility, persistently elevated D-dimers, and other risk factors such as cancer. We do encounter most of the patients who come to us that they have palpitations or dyspnea and chest pains. So the long-term sequelae may include increased cardiometabolic demands, myocardial fibrosis or scarring, arrhythmias, tachycardias, autonomic dysfunction. So the patients with cardiovascular complications during acute infections or those experiencing persistent cardiac symptoms may be monitored with serial clinical echocardiograms and electrocardiograms follow-up. So we have seen many patients who complain to us with that they have tachycardias or palpitations. So most of we generally follow them with ECGs, echoes, cardiac consultations, and if there is associated chest pains, CT pulmonary angiograms are also done. Persistent abnormalities, generally neuropsychiatric, they include fatigue, myalgias, headache, dysautonomia, and cognitive impairment. Many patients that we have seen in our OPDs, generally they complain that they have persistent headache. And second thing, most common thing, generally brain fogging, that they are सब कुछ भूल जाते हैं जी हम तो अब इतनी हमारी memory sharp नहीं रही है. So anxiety and depression is also quite common in these patients, and sleep disturbances that they are not able to sleep, or the most patients having post-traumatic stress disorders because of the stress that they are not being well, or why this happened to me, or why, or some loss in the family. So it has been quite common in 30 to 40% of COVID-19 survivors. And the pathophysiology is generally neuropsychiatric complications, is mechanistically diverse and entails an immune dysregulatory inflammation, microvascular thrombosis, iatrogenic effects of medications, and psychosocial effects of the infections. So the most common, we have seen that many patients do suffer stress, anxiety. So because of this, the other complications arise in the form of tachycardias or chest pain or breathlessness. So once this levels comes down, these things will settle down. Give it time, go slow, and more emphasis on pulmonary rehabilitation. Either you do yoga and relax, give time to your body to recoup this effect of the COVID-19. Everything will fall in place. So you have to give time to your body to recoup this attack on your body. So what we have seen is that we have seen many patients have received steroids and now they became diabetes. They have diabetes and new or worsening control of the existing diabetes mellitus. We have seen subacute thyroiditis are also seen, or avascular necrosis of bones have also arisen as a complication of post-COVID-19 patients. So the newly diagnosed diabetes in the absence of traditional risk factors for type 2 diabetes, suspected hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis suppression or a hyperthyroidism should undergo the appropriate laboratory testing and should be referred to endocrinology. So as a whole, what we have seen is the pulmonary complications, neuropsychiatric and renal complications, hematologic complications. So generally pulmonary complications, we tell our patients to self-monitor through pulse oximeter, can do 6-minute walk test at home. If they are not relieved of breathlessness, go for a PFTs, chest x-rays, embolism workup in the form of angiograms, echo, and HRCT chest is generally indicated. So the symptom assessments through generally we follow up every 2 to 4 weeks, and analysis of the symptoms, and up to 3 to 6 months we generally follow our patients, and most of our patients are doing well on the if the patients have severe symptoms and have been enrolled on the pulmonary rehabilitation. So pulmonary rehabilitation, generally, I'm not an expert in pulmonary rehabilitation, but yes, pulmonary rehabilitation is quite common, and most of our patients who were enrolled in pulmonary rehabilitations did very well. They were enrolled at home, and it was a wonderful experience to see them come back, and they're responding so well. So generally the slow breathing exercises in the form of slow inhalation and exhalation through the nose and mouth respectively, pulse, lip and diaphragmatic breathings, peripheral muscle training, breathing exercises. These include are one of the more pillars for pulmonary rehabilitations. So stretching, positioning, bronchial hygiene techniques, if there is assisted cough or postural drainage or cupping and huffing. These are for the clearance of secretions. So a lot of maneuvers are involved in pulmonary rehabilitations. So generally I wanted to share this slide because I wanted to tell most of the patients that generally we have to go slow. We do not want too much of exercise. first we generally tell patients to go slow in the form of breathing exercises, in and out through the nose. You can breathe through the mouth, helps the lungs recover and is calming. Take a slow and deep breath through the nose, breathe out gently like a sigh. Then there are simple exercises that you do not want your body to be stressed. So simple exercise in like sitting in a chair, lift one foot and straighten your knee, hold for a few seconds, repeat the other leg, because along with the chest, whole of the body is involved. So we always tell the patients to undergo chest plus limbs physiotherapy in the form of upper limbs as well as the lower limbs, so that the whole body which is at insult should come back, should regain some of their strength, because most of the patients have received too much of steroids. That also causes myopathy. So these are very simple exercises, sitting up or raising your legs. So lot of exercises, these are you can do simple at home, nothing much to go there somewhere else. So I think this is a wonderful diagram which you can see and can do the exercises at home. So the patient education is of utmost importance, either using a booklet, videos, telehealth, and lifestyle education, or social activities. Then aerobic exercises. Generally, they can join some sessions, 3 to 5 sessions per week. Muscle strength training, balance training, and breathing exercises. So nutrition also comes in an important aspect, because we tell our patients to remain well hydrated, because hydration also improves their energy levels and their recovery. Energy requirements generally should be in the range of 27 to 30 kilocalories per kg per day. Protein requirements, they should take enough. If the patient is not any kidney disease patient, they should have adequate protein requirements in the form of 1 gram per kg per day. Hydration should be there. Lot of minerals and vitamins should be taken. Either supplements can be taken. Carbohydrates, slightly low on carbohydrates, less of rice, less of potatoes, and vitamins, generally fats, we generally recommend omega-3 fatty acids. Most of the vitamins we encounter, because many patients comes to us with hair loss, and we generally give a skin referral, tell them to have more of a biotins or vitamin H, and take less of stress and more of hydration, and these give time to your body, and I think these things will recover with time.
Thank you, Dr. Ravikumar. I think आप सबको सारे टॉक में से सबसे पहली बात जो आपको समझ आनी चाहिए, भरोसे की। उन्होंने स्ट्रेट कहा है कि समय दीजिए, आपके शरीर को एक बहुत बड़ा धक्का लगा है, एक ऐसा धक्का जिसमें बहुत सिंपल एग्जांपल है कि किसी बिल्डिंग में आग लग गई, तो उस बिल्डिंग को दोबारा बनाने के लिए उसी बिल्डिंग को अगर पहले जब बनी थी तो हो सकता है 1 साल में बन गई हो, लेकिन अब वो बिल्डिंग को पहले टूटने पे दोबारा बनाने में दुगना टाइम लगे। So remember, you are reconstructing. But what is important is that जो सांस की तकलीफें हैं वो जरूरी नहीं है कि उनको होंगी कि जिनको पहले सांस की तकलीफ। आई थिंक ये सबसे पहले समझ आनी चाहिए। और अगर जिसको पहले सांस की तकलीफ थी उनको चांसेस हैं कि कोविड के बाद उनकी सांस की तकलीफें बढ़ जाएं, लेकिन डॉक्टर रविकुमार, अगर तकलीफें बढ़ जाएं, मुझे पुरानी एस्थमा था, मुझे कोविड हुआ, मुझे अब कोविड के बाद में मेरी सांस की तकलीफ बढ़ गई और ऑक्सीजन की भी जरूरत पड़ गई, क्या फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ माय लाइफ मुझे ऑक्सीजन की जरूरत पड़ेगी कि चांस है कि मेरा ऑक्सीजन की डिमांड जो कोविड होने से पहले थी उतनी पे मैं ला सकता हूँ?
देखिए, कोविड एक वायरल इन्फेक्शन है, जिस तरह इसका तेजी से हर एक बॉडी के पार्ट पे इफेक्ट पड़ता है, वैसे ही इसका इफेक्ट धीरे धीरे कम भी हो जाता है और खत्म भी हो जाता है। तो आप ये अपने आप को ये जरूर देना है कि एक तो स्ट्रेस कम रखना है, दूसरा ये चीज हमेशा नहीं रहेगी, ये ठीक हो जाएगी, तीसरी चीज अपनी बॉडी को थोड़ा टाइम देना है। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप काम तो सारे करते हैं बट हम अपनी बॉडी को टाइम नहीं देते हैं, इसलिए ये हमें वक्त इस तरह का आया है कि हमें अपनी बॉडी को थोड़ा टाइम देना है, गो स्लो, अपने जो मेडिकेशंस हैं वो मेडिकेशंस लीजिए, धीरे 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 द थिंग्स विल बिकम बेटर फ्रॉम देयर।
आई थिंक दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट कि अगर आपने सही तरीके से अपनी बिल्डिंग दोबारा बनाई तो यू विल कम बैक टू व्हाट यू वर बिफोर कोविड, बट इट टेक्स टाइम। एंड मुझे 2-3 दिन पहले एक आर्टिकल आया है कि एक चीज मैं सबसे प्लीज शेयर करना चाह रहा हूं कि अल्टीमेटली साइंस हैज प्रिवेल्ड। 100 साल पहले जो आपदा आई थी 1918 में, वो 3 साल चली थी, 3 years. It was 2 winters and 3 summers. इस बार अगर वो पैंडेमिक 1.5 साल में खत्म होना शुरू हुआ है तो केवल एक वजह से, और वो है वैक्सीनेशन। सो साइंस की जीत हुई है। अब ये बैठ के मैं किसी के खिलाफ नहीं बोलना चाह रहा, लेकिन जो हमें एक पिछले साल सडनली भरोसा आया था कि हम सांस लेंगे और वो गिलोय लेंगे और फलाना लेंगे ढमकाना लेंगे, करते रहिए, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली अगर आपने इस बीमारी से बाहर निकलना है तो साइंस की मदद लेके ही निकल सकते हैं। और साइंस ने 6 महीने के अंदर वैक्सीन पैदा की, विच इज ए ग्रेट अचीवमेंट। उसी भरोसे पे आप ये भी भरोसा रखिए कि कोविड के बाद सांस फूल रहा है, खांसी हो रही है, ऑक्सीजन की डिमांड बढ़ रही है, लेकिन फिर वही साइंस आपको भरोसा दिला रही है कि जहां जहां पे पेशेंटली एक रिहेबिलिटेशन मेथड, आपने सुना डॉक्टर अभी कुमार ने कहा पल्मोनरी रिहेबिलिटेशन, कि आपकी सांस की तकलीफ है लेकिन आपके पैर का मसल का भी एक्सरसाइज होना जरूरी है, आपकी बाजू का एक्सरसाइज होना जरूरी है, आपके छाती के फेफड़े के मसल जो हैं उनकी एक्सरसाइज होनी जरूरी है, और तब जाके आप उसी स्टेज में आ सकते हैं। सो देयर आर कॉम्प्लिकेशंस, इन नटशेल देयर आर नंबर ऑफ कॉम्प्लिकेशंस वी आर नॉट सेइंग, लेकिन a large number of people Dr. Avi Kumar has treated and they have come back to normal. Now इस बात का जब भरोसा हो जाए, अब अपने आप को निग्लेक्ट नहीं करिए, ये मत अपने आप को कंडेम मत करिए, स्पेशली इफ यू आर एन एल्डर एंड देयर आर 2 issues he has highlighted, सांस की तकलीफ और स्ट्रेस। अगर आपने सोचना शुरू कर दिया कि यही मेरी जिंदगी है तो उस बिल में से कभी नहीं निकले। सो ही इज अश्योरिंग यू कि अगर आपको खांसी और सांस का तकलीफ हो रही है, अपने आप को चेक कराइए, वो मशीनरी के साथ असेसमेंट लगा के आपको बताएंगे इतनी इतनी एक्सरसाइज करें, एंड पीपल आर इंप्रूविंग। एक डॉक्टर अवी कुमार, बिफोर आई ओपन द चैप्टर फॉर एवरीबडी, एक बहुत कुछ लोगों को सुना है कि सारी चीज करने के बावजूद उनकी सांस ठीक नहीं हो रही और लोगों को एक फाइब्रोसिस की तकलीफ पाई जा रही है। व्हाट इज फाइब्रोसिस और कितने परसेंटेज लोगों को आपने फाइब्रोसिस होते देखा है?
देखिए, पोस्ट कोविड लोगों को फाइब्रोसिस होता है, बट बहुत ही कम लोगों को, लेस देन 1 to 2% पेशेंट्स में ही फाइब्रोसिस देखा जाता है। और कुछ चीजें हैं कि लोग, कुछ दाग हैं लोगों के रहते हैं, वो धीरे 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 इट गोज ऑफ। फर्स्ट वेव में हमने यही देखा था कि सीटी स्कैन्स में हमने रिपीट करवा के देखे तो बिल्कुल क्लियर हो गए थे लोगों के। सेकेंड वेव में भी हम यही देख रहे हैं कि लोगों के जो दाग हैं सीटी स्कैन में वो कम हो जा रहे हैं। फाइब्रोसिस, जो परसिस्टेंट फाइब्रोसिस की बात होती है, वो 1 to 2% से ज्यादा लोगों में नहीं पाया जाता।
आई थिंक ये भी देखिए, साइंस की एश्योरेंस है। डॉक्टर अवी कुमार का ये अपना पर्सनल जाती ओपिनियन नहीं है, किसी बेसिस पे है। किस बेसिस पे है? उस साइंस की बेसिस पे है जिसने आपको वैक्सीन दी है। सो एवरीथिंग दैट ही इज सेइंग हैज एविडेंस, और उस एविडेंस के बेसिस पे वो आपको कह रहे हैं। क्योंकि मैं इसलिए बार बार ये रिपीट कर रहा हूं क्योंकि सुनने में ये आता है कि जी फलाने ने कहा था कि अगर खांसी है तो तुलसी रोज लीजिए, ठीक हो जाएंगे। अब उनको पूछो वो फलाना कौन था, फलाने का नाम नहीं पता। तो यहाँ पे डॉक्टर अभी कुमार अपना नाम दे रहे हैं आपको. He is assuring you that I am saying, Dr. Avi Kumar is saying, if you follow a systematic plan, you can recover and you can live a normal life. That is the strength of the assurance. That is what you have to be understanding. I'll now take questions which have come in the chat box first. I recovered from 20 to 25 CT scale and 13th April को मैं positive हुआ था. When can I take my second dose? ये question है डॉक्टर अभी कुमार.
Generally after 3 months हम कहते हैं कि 3 months के बाद आप अपनी second dose ले सकते हैं. जो CDC की भी guidelines हैं उन्होंने भी यही recommend किया है कि 90 दिन के बाद आप अपने second dose आप ले सकते हैं.
So 13th April के 90 दिन के बाद. Please understand. So now Mr. Vinod Kumar का question I think more or less तो डॉक्टर अभी कुमार ने आंसर ही किया है. वो कह रहे हैं मैं रिकवर हुआ, my PFT is bad and I have developed fibrosis. उसी की बात. And I am now recommended Nintena. I have not taken the said medicine because of the side effects as I have been told liver function test every week. तो वो डर रहे हैं Nintena लेने के लिए क्योंकि उनको एडवाइस किया गया है liver function test हर हफ्ते कराना पड़ेगा. तो फाइब्रोसिस में डॉक्टर अभी कुमार उनको दवाई लेने में खतरा ज्यादा है या दवाई ना लेने में खतरा ज्यादा है?
देखिए सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज तो ये है कि आप अपने एक्सरसाइज करें, रिहेबिलिटेशन में आप चाहे एनरोल हो जाएं, क्योंकि अगर आपको पीएफटी खराब आ रहा है तो लंग फंक्शंस भी डाउन होंगे. तो मोस्ट प्रोबेबल ये होता है कि आप अपनी रेस्पिरेटरी मसल्स को भी एक्सरसाइज करें, ब्रीदिंग एक्सरसाइजेस करें, अपने आप को एक पल्मोनरी रिहेबिलिटेशन प्रोग्राम में एनरोल करें. और इसके साइड इफेक्ट नहीं है आपको. पहली चीज तो यही है कि इसके साइड इफेक्ट नहीं है. दूसरी चीज, अगर नींडेना आपके डॉक्टर साहब ने रिकमेंड की है तो आप एलएफटी करवा के देख सकते हैं. उसको एलएफटी अगर आपको लगता है कि भाई एलएफटी में गड़बड़ हो रही है तो उसको चाहे हम बंद भी कर सकते हैं. बट मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग आपका रिहेबिलिटेशन में एनरोल होना होगा. अगर रिहेबिलिटेशन आप अच्छी तरह करेंगे, अपने अपर लिम्स, लोअर लिम्स और चेस्ट की मसल्स को एक्सरसाइज करेंगे तो आपकी रिकवरी फास्टर हो जाएगी.
सो नाउ प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, दवाई के साथ में प्रिकॉशन है टेस्ट करना. दवाई टेस्ट करने से ये मतलब नहीं कि दवाई बहुत जहरीली दवाई है, वो मॉनिटर के लिए है. लेकिन कॉशन क्या किया डॉक्टर अभी कुमार ने, अगर आप रिहेबिलिटेशन प्रोसेस के साथ नहीं करेंगे तो अकेली दवाई काम नहीं करे. सो गेट इनटू रिहेबिलिटेशन प्रोसेस and the medicine and it is useful. Mr. Amit Saxena, you may please unmute everybody, and if anybody want to ask the question, you may please raise your hand and ask your question. जो किसी ने क्वेश्चन पूछना है तो अपने आप को आप अनम्यूट कर लीजिए. ऑर्गेनाइजर ने परमिट कर दिया आपको अनम्यूट करने के लिए.
Yes, Dr. Avi Kumar, I am Vinod Kumar. My question was just read by the doctor alongside you. The issue is not that I am fearing that this medicine is poisonous or that I am scared of this medicine. The only point is that you have rightly said now that the rehabilitation exercises have to be taken side by side. So actually I was found positive on 9th of May. I have taken steroids on 2 installments, initially in May and then from 19th of June till 2nd of August. And as a result of that, my sugar levels are very bad. I was put on insulin. Now, after the withdrawal of the steroids, the sugar level is coming to normal, but at a very slow pace. But now my issue is that whether this medicine, Nintena, is going to fiddle with again with my sugar level, or should I stress more on rehabilitation and less on medicine? That was my issue.
Vinod Kumar ji, before Dr. Avi Kumar answers you, there is a lot of fear in your question. There is a lot of fear.
Of course, I have been suffering for the last more than 3 months now.
Now that is what I think we must first share with you. Okay, you see the trauma जो डॉक्टर अभी कुमार कह रहे हैं कि इस बीमारी में बीमारी ठीक करने के साथ में जो हमें स्ट्रेस फील हो रहा है, that is also overwhelming to that extent कि वो ठीक नहीं होने दे रहा. I'm very glad that you found it. आपने इतनी शेयर करने की आपने ये सोची क्योंकि शेयर करने से आपके हिम्मत की काम जो बढ़ेगा, वो ये सब लोग जो यहाँ पे इस वक्त 80 लोग आपके साथ हैं, we are all with you.
I can
Dr.
understand.
Avi Kumar is with you. So start your rehabilitation. Now Dr. Avi Kumar will tell you whether alone rehab is enough or the medicine. But maybe without seeing you, he may not be able to, but still.
No, that I'll definitely take an appointment with Dr. Avi.
Doesn't matter.
But
Yes, please. Dr. Avi, either of the two.
सर देखिए, निंजाटेनिब ऐसे शुगर्स में तो कोई इंटरफेरेंस नहीं करता। दूसरी चीज ये है कि पल्मोनरी रिहेबिलिटेशन कम्स फर्स्ट, मेडिकेशंस, क्योंकि आफ्टर 3 months मोर ऑफ लेस ऑफ द मेडिकेशंस, मोर ऑफ अ पल्मोनरी रिहेबिलिटेशन। अगर 3 महीने आपको हो गए हैं उसमें, तो द मोर द रिहेबिलिटेशन पार्ट ओवरकम्स द मेडिकेशंस, बिकॉज जल्दी तो मेडिकेशंस का रोल होता है जल्दी द फर्स्ट 3 months में वी हैव, because most of the antifibrotics, many of the studies are going on and the results are being coming through, and none of our guidelines do recommend antifibrotics for over a long run. So generally we emphasize more on pulmonary rehabilitation, more of breathing exercises, more of dietary better rich dietary food, so that these things overcome the time.
thank you, Doctor.
Should I ask one question,
All the
sir?
best. Yeah. Ji Jain sir. Ji Jain sir.
Hello. After recovering from COVID, my wife started losing hair. Is it due to
वो
COVID?
लास्ट टाइम जैन साहब डिस्कस किया था
हाँ जी।
डॉक्टर, हमने सचिन के साथ में,
हाँ जी।
उन्होंने सारा एक्सप्लेन किया था बालों के लिए। मैं आपको दोबारा बता दूंगा। और कोई क्वेश्चन सांस के लिए?
हेलो, गुड इवनिंग सर।
जी डॉक्टर श्याम बोलिए।
सर, पोस्ट कोविड अगर आफ्टर 3 months 3 महीने के बाद में ड्राई ब्रोंकाइटिस हो तो क्या उसको पोस्ट कोविड रिलेट करना चाहिए, नया डिसऑर्डर समझना चाहिए?
Persistent hyperinflammation is a known feature for COVID-19. So we will correlate with COVID-19 only because it is a continuum hyperinflammation. So we would try to treat it with inhaled bronchodilators plus steroids, if inhaled steroids, if the bronchitis occurs.
Thank you.
Mr. Batra, would you like to ask anything?
No, sir, it's okay. Fine.
देखिए डॉक्टर अभी, अगर किसी को कोविड, मुझे कोविड हुआ और एक इंसान को कोविड नहीं हुआ, हम दोनों को बीमारी के तौर पे वही किस्म का सांस फूल रहा है, क्या हमारी दवाइयां अलग होगी कि दवाइयां वही हैं?
जनरली अगर सांस फूल रहा है, हमें तो मेन देखना है कि आपके लंग्स में एक तो ये है कि ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन है कि नहीं है। अगर ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन है तो दवाइयां सेम है। अगर आपका इनहेल्ड ब्रोंकोडायलेटर्स और इनहेल्ड स्टेरॉइड्स हम उनको भी देंगे, आपको भी। अगर पल्मोनरी फंक्शन टेस्ट में ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन आ रहा है, पोस्ट कोविड में हम जनरली ये भी देख रहे हैं कि पेशेंट्स को स्ट्रेस बहुत है, एंजाइटी बहुत है, और आपको नींद नहीं आ रही है, और इसका इफेक्ट दिख रहा है कि ब्रेथलेसनेस हो रही है। तो ये चीजें भी साथ में चल रही हैं। तो उन चीजों को भी थोड़ा सा हमने टेक्निकली देना है, क्योंकि सारी चीजें दवाइयों से नहीं होती। थोड़ा बहुत अपनी रिहेबिलिटेशन, थोड़ा बहुत मेंटल अपनी स्ट्रेंथ को बढ़ाना, कुछ योगा करना, जिससे आप अपनी चीजों को बढ़ा सकें और धीरे धीरे ये चीजें बेटर हो जाए।
So what is important is for everybody to understand कि अगर जिनको कोविड के बाद सांस फूल रहा और खांसी हो रही है, उनकी दवाइयां कोई अलग नहीं है, इट इज द सेम मेडिसिन। लेकिन इस पोस्ट कोविड में जो पल्मोनरी रिहेबिलिटेशन का इशू है वो बहुत कामयाब हो रहा है। दैट इज द इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट। सो मेडिसिन इज द सेम, बट योर पल्मोनरी रिहेबिलिटेशन, जो आपकी अपनी मेहनत है, वो जब तक साथ नहीं जोड़ेंगे, अकेली दवाई नहीं काम करेगी। दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट पीपल आर रिकवरिंग, as he said, hardly 0.5% people are those who require long term. Otherwise, most people recover. Most people recover with time and with mehnat of their own. That is most important. Anybody else, please?
Dr. Grewal,
Yes, Dr. Arora ji.
thanks for organizing very nicely. And Dr. Avi Kumar, in a very simple language, summarized the whole thing. I've got one question. Happy hypoxia. Can you tell me in a very simple language to make people alert about it?
Happy hypoxia. I think that was during the illness. आज अरोड़ा जी हम post, आप भी तो post COVID हो हमारे शेर. आप भी तो post COVID शेर हो हमारे.
Definitely.
फिर आप तो happy hypoxia को हरा के आए हो. अब उसको दोबारा क्यों याद कर रहे हो? नहीं बात करेंगे.
Okay.
He is post COVID. He was at home. Dr. Arora was at home and we were in constant touch. And he recovered well. So he's recovered. He's recovered so well that he started singing again in his OPDs. ये गाना गाते हैं सबके लिए. Yes, Karan Kapoor sir.
आपने बताया कि घर में रहो रिकवरी हो जाएगी, तो हमने तो सब आपके कहने के मुताबिक किया और बिल्कुल 100% ठीक हो गए.
मैंने कुछ नहीं किया करण साहब, थोड़ी वो मिलिट्री टोपी ने ठीक किया थानू.
I'm so thankful to Dr. Avi Kumar. Very useful talk. We have taken advantage of it. Dr. Garewal is so nice that he helps everybody and takes care of especially elders like us.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful to him.
Thank you, Karan sir. Yes, Alok ji, please.
So there is a lot of publication in the newspaper, lot of articles regarding third dose. So what is this third dose? Is it in addition to the 2 doses one has taken, 2 vaccinations?
देखिए अभी actually what we think is that these vaccinations would work for about 6 months. 6 months आपकी immunity रहनी चाहिए. Then उसके बाद क्या है whether
17 CRP.
whether we are
6 months after taking the first dose or 6 months after taking the second dose?
sir, right now there are not much studies available that the third dose is essential, but in my personal view I think that this will also come, and maybe we would be looking at a once yearly dose ahead, going year like we give of a influenza, because from pandemic this virus will become an endemic and this will start living with us like a friend, and we have to vaccinate ourselves every yearly. So let's see, many other studies will come up and this third dose will also come up.
अभी नहीं है, अभी आप वहीं पे रुकिए, जब होगा तो बताया जाएगा. Yes,
Hello.
You are right, Dr. Grewal, but lot of articles I am reading about third dose in the press.
No, that is, please don't go by those press readings.
Okay.
They are all reporting discussions happening. Remember, they are only reporting discussion. Abhi decision koi nahi. Please wait.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Kumar ji.
हाँ जी, नमस्कार डॉक्टर साहब, मैं मिसेज कुमार बोल रही हूँ. मेरे को तो कोविड हुआ नहीं, लेकिन मेरा CRP अभी टेस्ट करवाया है तो वो 17 आया है, और CT स्कैन अभी करवाया तो उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम तो आई है, थोड़ी बहुत, कुछ ग्रोथ कुछ ऐसे बताया है.
आपको कोविड नहीं हुआ था?
नहीं हुआ था, और मेरे को 4-6 महीने पहले मैं ऐसे ही चल रही थी तो मेरा थोड़ा सांस फूल गया था.
नहीं, एक मिनट देखिए, CRP केवल कोविड में नहीं बढ़ता. CRP कई बीमारियों में बढ़ता है, तो आप अपना इलाज कराइए और पता करिए कि CRP कौन सी बीमारी से बढ़ रहा है. Subir, what was your question about autonomic? There was a question. Subir, what was the question, please?
There were 2 questions. First was, in some people we find that after the 6-minute walk test, the SpO2 instead of increasing becomes more, instead of decreasing it becomes more. From 92 it becomes 96, for example. So I was wondering why that happens. And the other one was, how to treat the autonomic dysfunction. That's all.
Okay.
In some
हाँ
patients,
जी डॉक्टर साहब, मेरा ऑक्सीजन लेवल 93 से बढ़ता ही नहीं है।
मैडम, आपको अगर कोविड नहीं था तो उसका प्लीज डायग्नोज कराइए कि क्या बीमारी है आपको, ठीक है?
अच्छा,
यस।
देखिए किसी किसी पेशेंट्स में जनरली ये होता है कि सम पेशेंट्स लोअर लोब्स पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते हैं आपके पल्मोनरी डिफ्यूजन में, तो उस वजह से आपकी ऑक्सीजनेशंस कम रहती हैं, और जैसे जैसे आपकी एक्सरसाइज बढ़ती है, आप चलना शुरू करते हैं, तो आपकी लोअर लोब्स भी पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं, तो उस वजह से कभी कभी ऑक्सीजनेशंस आपकी बढ़ जाती हैं। दूसरी चीज ऑटोनॉमिक डिसफंक्शन, फर्स्ट ट्रीटमेंट तो यही है कि हमने काफी पेशेंट्स भी देखे हैं, 5-6 पेशेंट्स हमारे पास एडमिट भी थे, उनका जो चीजें हैं दे took very long time to recover, but time plus rehabilitation plus medications, ये 3 चीजें मिली तो अपने आप धीरे धीरे चीजें अपने वापस नॉर्मल हो गई और सेटल डाउन हो गई, क्योंकि एकदम पेशेंट्स बेड रिडन हो जाते हैं ऑटोनॉमिक डिसफंक्शन में, उसके बाद धीरे धीरे रिहैबिलिटेशंस प्लस मेडिकेशंस प्लस पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग प्लस टाइम, ये चीजें कंबाइन करती हैं न्यूट्रिशन, चौथी चीज है न्यूट्रिशन, और 5वीं चीज है प्रिवेंशन फ्रॉम इन्फेक्शन। तो ये चीजें सारी मिलती हैं, द थिंग्स बिकम्स बेटर, तो चीजें
इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ टाइम। ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन के योगा किसी ने हाथ किया हुआ है, नो नेम ऑन इट।
सर एक्चुअली मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आफ्टर पोस्ट कोविड कानों में घंटियां बजती हैं, दोनों कानों में, ऑफ 30 years चाइल्ड आफ्टर पोस्ट कोविड, इसको 7-8 महीने हो गए हैं और वो ठीक नहीं हो रही है। ENT को भी दिखा दिया, मेडिसिन भी ले रहे हैं, बट ठीक नहीं हो रही। So it is associated with the COVID, or it's means a different.
Madam, the age you said is 13 or 30?
30.
30. कानों में आवाजें आ,
देखिए पहली चीज तो यही है कि हम ENT वाले डॉक्टर से आप एक परामर्श, सेकंड ओपिनियन जरूर लीजिए। दूसरी चीज स्ट्रेस ना हो बच्चे को, तो ये भी जरूर देखना है, क्योंकि ये चीजें कभी कभी स्ट्रेस रिलेटेड भी हो जाती हैं, तो इन चीजों को भी आप।
डॉक्टर साहब आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही।
देखिए डॉक्टर साहब ये कह रहे हैं, देखिए आपकी जो शिकायत है उसकी शिकायत है मेरे कानों में आवाज आ रही है।
हाँ जी, दोनों कानों।
सबसे पहले तो ये कोई बीमारी नहीं है, ये केवल किसी बीमारी की शिकायत है। अब आपने बीमारी ढूंढनी है, तो एक डॉक्टर साहब, डॉक्टर अभी कुमार कह रहे हैं, एक ENT से चेक करा लीजिए पहले, फिर एक न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट को चेक करा लीजिए। हो सकता है दोनों के पास में कोई बीमारी नहीं मिले, लेकिन फिर भी वो आवाज आ रही है। अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन है, then you please get back to me or Dr. Abhi Kumar, and then we will be able to guide. Okay?
Okay sir. सर ENT को तो दिखा रहे हैं, न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट को नहीं कंसल्ट किया है, और अगर नहीं होता है, आप कह रहे हैं वापस से ठीक नहीं होता है, तो फिर डॉक्टर हैरी से हम कंसल्ट करें दोबारा। एंड वी कैन गेट अ फोन नंबर ऑफ डॉक्टर साहब।
Yes, you have the doctor. I will just put it in the chat box. You can contact Dheeraj Kumar or Dr. Abhi Kumar.
Okay sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Last question, Ranjit Singh ji, Sani sir.
हाँ जी डॉक्टर साहब, मैं सवाल सिर्फ यही पूछना चाहता हूँ कि अगर ओम की ध्वनि एक ही सांस में स्टॉप वॉच करके करी जाए तो कितने सेकंड तक वो आप उसको समझेंगे कि आपके जो लंग्स हैं वो ठीक है?
6 सेकंड सर।
कितने सेकंड सर?
6 सेकंड।
6 सेकंड तक अगर आपकी सांस उसमें नहीं टूटती है, आपकी 6 सेकंड, दिस मींस योर लंग्स आर गुड इनफ।
हाँ जी,
ठीक, फेयर इनफ, मतलब तुम पास हो गए, डिस्टिंक्शन नहीं है।
ठीक है, थैंक यू।
Right, thank you very much everybody. Thank you so much, Dr. Abhi Kumar, so kind of you. And remember, next week we shall be having a special session on Senior Citizen Day, जिसमें हम अपने volunteers को honor कर रहे हैं। हम राज्यपाल जी को एज गेस्ट बुला रहे हैं, DCP साउथ ईस्ट के साथ हमारा प्रोग्राम है, और ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंसेज के जीरियाट्रिक डिपार्टमेंट के डॉक्टर विजय गुर्जर को भी इनवाइट किया है। We will have about 15-20 volunteers in the auditorium, and we will have rest of you online, and we have a surprise item for you also on that day. So we will send the invitation, and before I give my request to all of you to join me in the slogan, a special thanks to Dr. Deepika Chhabra from Jackson Pal, जिन्होंने आज ये webinar हमारे लिए arrange किया है. So that is a very good help we got from Dr. Deepika and Jackson Pal.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Deepika. Very kind of you.
डॉक्टर साहब जो लोग ऑनलाइन से कनेक्ट करेंगे, प्राइजेस उनके लिए भी हैं या जो प्रेजेंट होंगे उनके लिए?
सानी साहब, मुझे पता है कि आप उस प्राइज के हकदार बन गए हैं, क्योंकि आपने पहले बता दिया कि आप तो उसके लिए भी हम लकी डिप कर लेंगे, उसके लिए लकी डिप कर लेंगे.
ठीक है, थैंक यू.
राइट, सो ऑल ऑफ यू प्लीज जॉइन मी इन सेइंग मेरा श्वास मेरे हाथ,
मेरा श्वास मेरे हाथ,
मेरा श्वास मेरे हाथ,
मेरा
मेरा
श्वास
श्वास
मेरे हाथ,
God bless you all.